Viewer discretion advised. The following content deals with true crime and sensitive topics that may be disturbing to some audiences. Who Robert Pickton was, what happened on his farm, and why it matters so deeply. Picture this: a sprawling, muddy farm on the edge of Port Coquitlam, just outside Vancouver. The air is cold, the ground is perpetually damp. On the surface, it's just another rural property. Nothing looks out of the ordinary, until you listen to the whispers that carried from the city. I'm talking about Robert Pickton, the pig farmer whose name still chills people in British Columbia. In the late 1990s and early 2000s, a terrifying pattern emerged. Women, many of them vulnerable and from Vancouver's downtown east side, were reported missing. Pickton targeted these women specifically. He would approach them with offers of money, drugs, or a ride. He presented himself as a friendly, if unkempt figure, someone offering a temporary escape or a good time. He lured them from the city streets back to the isolation of his farm, a place he controlled completely. Some said they'd last been seen headed out of the city toward that farm. Once there, the friendly facade would drop. His primary method was strangulation. The farm provided the perfect cover. Its size and remoteness meant that cries for help would go unheard. For years, the cases felt scattered, tragic, and unsolved. Families begged for answers, but police struggled to connect the dots. They chased tips that went nowhere, and some critics say they didn't prioritize the disappearances of marginalized women. Out on that farm, the gates stayed shut, the lights stayed dim, and the rumors got louder. The breakthrough finally came in 2002. Acting on a tip about illegal firearms, police obtained a search warrant for the property. What they began to uncover tied the disappearances together and turned a local mystery into one of Canada's most infamous and horrifying cases. During the search, they found personal items belonging to several of the missing women. This was the critical link they needed. The farm became the largest crime scene in Canadian history. Investigators said he lured women to the farm, murdered them, and then used the farm's machinery and pigs to dispose of their remains. This gruesome method made recovering evidence incredibly difficult. Pickton was arrested. The forensic evidence was devastating. DNA from multiple missing women was found across the property. He was ultimately convicted of second-degree murder in 6 cases. 6 lives with names, stories, and people who loved them. He was initially charged with 26 murders, but the prosecution proceeded with the 6 strongest cases to secure a conviction. The trial was massive. The headlines were relentless, and the questions were haunting. How did this go on for so long? Who was listening when the first women went missing? This isn't a monster under the bed tale. It's a brutal warning about what happens when society overlooks its most vulnerable members. Fear, stigma, and voices asking for help that were ignored for far too long. Pickton spent the rest of his life in prison, sentenced to life with no possibility of parole for 25 years. But for the families of the dozens of other women he was suspected of killing, justice never felt complete. The lesson from this tragedy is clear. Pay attention to the quiet places and the forgotten corners. Believe the people who speak up, especially those on the margins. And when a pattern of disappearance emerges, no matter who the victims are, dig deeper. Because sometimes the scariest stories aren't hidden in the dark. They're hiding in plain sight behind a farm gate at the edge of town. Confirmed victims, 6 murder convictions. Investigators suspected he was responsible for the deaths of up to 49 women. Where is he now? Robert Picton died in May 2024 following an assault by another inmate while in custody. Subscribe to this channel for more careful true crime breakdowns.